In today's Straight Saturday video, we're going to take a closer look at a knife we looked at briefly at the Straight SHOT Show interview this year. That's the Smith and Wesson SWF603. Get a little closer. That's coming up next on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me. So, the folks at Straight and Smith and Wesson were kind enough to send me one of their SWF603s so I could show it to you. And if you wonder why I'm so far back, by the way, I'm trying to stay in the shade with the camera in the shadows from some trees back here, so you don't get that side of my face all lit up, that yin-yang effect on the face here. But let me get a little bit closer, give you a quick look at this thing. So this is a really cool knife in my opinion, and I wanted a closer look at this after I saw it at SHOT Show. Just really neat. It's got a big beefy Tanto style blade, extremely heavy duty, feels really good in your hand, and it looks like it would be a really heavy duty solid knife to use for a wide variety of purposes. So without a whole lot more rambling, what I thought we would do is I will get down to the old stump top. We'll talk about the specs and details of this knife, and then we'll get to doing some of that knife stuff. Okay, once again, this is the Smith & Wesson SWF603 full tang knife. This knife features a 4.94 inch, or for those of you still stuck in the old metric system, 12.55 centimeter Tanto blade of stone-washed HCR13 MOV high carbon stainless steel with a 5.16 inch or 13.11 centimeter black G10 handle. It gives an overall length of 9.98 inches or 25.35 centimeters and a total weight of 11 ounces or 313 grams. It features thumb ramp jimping, a lanyard hole with a paracord lanyard, and a multi-carry option thermoplastic sheath. Street price on this knife at the time of this video is somewhere around 30 bucks. Okay, so that was a quick look at the specs and details of this new SWF603 from the folks at Smith & Wesson. And you saw this thing's about 11 ounces, so it's a pretty beefy, hefty knife. And you can see the blade profile is a serious, really tall Tanto. It feels definitely, it's a little bit of a hollow grind on the straight flat part here, and then down to more of a, just a flat grind at the very Tanto top. Pretty sharp Tanto tip there, if you can see that. Let me get behind the black where you can see it. Pretty sharp there. And it's got a nice finger choil in the handle here, along with the thumb ramp with the jimping on it. It gives you a really good purchase and kind of necks it down right here. So if you had to stab with this, which is going to be one of the primary functions of a Tanto blade, that you could, it's not going to, your hand's not going to slide up onto the blade. And I think if you were wet or bloody or whatever, it's got enough of a grip here all the way down it that it's going to be really, I think, kind of grippy to hold on to. It's got this paracord lanyard on the bottom of it. You know, personally, I'm not a big fan of that. It just doesn't seem like it's not something I'm going to use. But it's nice to have there, and if you need a paracord. And then it's got this multi-carry option thermoplastic sheath, like they've done on a couple of other knives, and it gives you the option to place the belt loop here for scout carry, left or right-handed, it doesn't matter. And then they've got the extra holes here, so you can switch this thing around if you're a righty or a lefty. So it makes it a really totally ambidextrous sheath, which is, I think, a very big improvement from the folks at Straight and Smith & Wesson. And then the retention on the thing is okay. You got to pop it out pretty good, but I'm pretty sure if I really try, I mean, I got to really try, but I could probably fling this thing out of here if I really try. And I did, but I had to really try. So pretty good on the retention there. So I think the next thing to do is, and again, this is not a bushcraft knife, obviously. I got some dirt on it with my slinging thing, but I try to keep the test standardized so we can compare one knife to another. Let's take you down the old stump top now and do some of that knife stuff. Okay, so actually the first thing I want to do is a little bit of chopping. This is a pretty good size blade. Again, 11 ounces. It's not designed, it's obviously not configured really to be a chopper, but we're going to do a little chopping with it anyway, because why not, right? So take a piece of this wood here. That's what we got. So let's just see how well this thing does some chopping. And it's got this little bit of a curvature back here on the handle, that little bit of a recurve with it. That might be okay to get a little 2-finger grip on, like so. And that's what I'm going to use. I'm just going to try a little cross grain chopping. And you know, it's definitely not a chopper. It's not really a wait for it design or anything like that, but if you can get enough of a kind of a pendulum stroke going, it's definitely wanting to slide out of my hand. I got to keep readjusting, but that's because it's not really designed for that. But it's getting the job done. At least on this wood it is. Let's turn it over. Pretty solid though, either way. It'll be as good as anything to baton, I guess. So let's just try it. It's got a nice knot in it right here too, so that should give you right there. Not too bad for a Tanto. Pretty thick Tanto, actually, almost 1/8 of an inch, so not too bad there. The next step in the process, as I'm sure you know, is to see if we can turn these feathers into flames. So curls, or whatever you want to call them. I call them feathers because I just do, but we'll call them curls. Either way, the goal is to get some flames here. So let's see if this thing will strike a ferro rod. This is a kind of a small ferro rod. It is one of the straight ferro rods that I really like, but it's also a kind of small one. I like the bigger one better, but I have misplaced it. Oh, we got a little flame going there, and it stopped. This wood's kind of damp. It's been raining out here. That's why I got to the inside of it, but it has been raining out here for at least over a day or so. Got to get to the little bitty curls here, the little fine ones down here. We'll keep working with it for a minute, and then we're going to bring out the old secret weapon. Oh, but look, we did not need the secret weapon this time. I don't think. Still kind of damp, but looks like it's going. All right. So you kind of passed that test too. Not bad at all. When Chuck Norris was a little boy, he wrecked his bike and skinned the sidewalk with his knee. So if you've joined me before, you know what's next, right? But if you happen to be new to the channel, real quickly, here at Survival on Purpose Worldwide Headquarters, we are very fortunate to be able to maintain an absolute state-of-the-art, cutting-edge knife testing facility. And one of the premier stations that we have at our testing facility is the balance, orientation, and rotation device that you see behind me here. And that is pretty much the industry standard method for balance testing of a knife. So we're going to put this one through the testing procedure and see how well it fares. I think it feels really balanced. I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air about the lanyard here. We may give it a try. It's kind of like tail feathers on a kite maybe, but we're going to give it a try and see how well it works. And then if it interferes with a balance testing procedure, we will remove it. So let's get to it. Yeah, I think the lanyard is messing with me. It's definitely messing with me, but one more try. Okay, we got it that time. I kind of held it up over the back. Let's try again. Okay, we're going to call that testing complete, and got to say, even with the lanyard on it, it is very well balanced. So, okay, so real quickly, likes and dislikes. I like the fact this is a big, solid, beefy knife. The blade is really tall. It gives it a little bit of a non-traditional Tanto look because it's got this really sloped back on it, but I think it adds a lot of strength to the design, which is really good. I like the kind of narrowing down the neck here, so it essentially creates a finger guard from the thumb ramp and the finger choil for the on the handle. So it's really very secure and solid on a grip. For stabbing, it really gives you a really good kind of a purchase in order to stab. I kind of like the multi-carry sheath. It snaps in really good. This one's got great retention. I looked at another sheath on a different knife, like it's very similar, and it didn't have as good a retention. I'm a little concerned about long-term retention for this thing, but I do think you could probably heat it up and tighten it up if you need to. I like the fact that it is multi-carry, so you can, if you're a lefty, you want to carry it left or right. Even if you're a righty and you want to carry it on your left hand, because maybe you're carrying, I don't know, a pistol on your right side, whatever, gives you that opportunity to do that. And the fact you can carry it scout carry. It's kind of big for me for EDC, but it's right there on the borderline. But if you did carry this for EDC, it would be a really good secondary weapon, in my opinion. It's got an extremely sharp point on it. You know, I'm trying to think of some negatives because I try to be fair and unbiased here. Not real sure about the long-term, again, tightness of the sheath, although right now it's doing really well. And I think if you're going to carry it vertically, it'll never be a problem. But if you're carrying it, I wouldn't carry it on I just wouldn't carry this kind of sheath with just basically passive retention is what I call it, without a strap or something. I wouldn't carry it on a tactical vest upside down or whatever. And then I guess the only really thing I might say negative about it is, you know, I just don't see a point in the lanyard. I probably would remove it, and probably will remove it. But other than that, and then this loop here is really just for an 1.5 inch belt, so you can't really take it on and off without sliding it out of the belt, which is the only other thing that I might, a small ding, but there's a lot of sheaths like that. So, but as far as performance, it did great on batoning. It actually did better than I expected on chopping, being that it's not a chopper. I did a little bit of stabbing with it, and it did fine. My hand was very secure because of the design here, the handle. And you know, it struck a ferrule rod pretty decent. Not great, but decent enough to get a fire going with no special secret ingredient, which by the way is fat wood. And it's I think it looks kind of cool too. And of course, it is very well balanced, even with the tail feathers. So if you're looking for a really solid, extremely heavy-duty, multi-use kind of knife, not really a bushcraft knife, more of a tactical style, but it definitely could get the job done, as you saw in some bushcraft tasks, at around the $30–$35 street price. You might want to check out this SWF603. Pretty cool knife, I think. So once again, thanks to the folks at Strayed and Smith and Wesson for sending me this so I could show it to you. And as always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking that thumbs up, for sharing this video with all your friends. Thank you so very much for doing all your Amazon shopping through the Survival on Purpose links. I really appreciate the support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident. So be prepared. I'll see you next time.